In a mountain village in the 1980s, she was a virtuous wife, a diligent mother, but never herself. The phrase "I'll do as you say" was a constant habit and a shackle, etched into her very soul, until a sudden onset of illness forced open the door to all the neglected truths. The woman Tao Chun had been married for over a decade, yet her husband had never spent a single penny on her. After painstakingly raising pigs for over a year, all the earnings were taken by her husband. Despite such harsh treatment, Tao Kun remained completely submissive to him, always answering with those same words, "I'll do as you say." Clutching the only bit of change she had, she walked into the store, bought her son the toy gun he had set his heart on. She picked a pen for her daughter, then bought 2 packs of good cigarettes for her husband. After these purchases, she had almost nothing left, yet she couldn't resist stopping by the department store to look at the dress she had long desired. The saleslady warmly took down the dress and urged her to try it on. It seemed tailor-made for her beautiful and a perfect fit. Tao Chun's eyes filled with joy, yet she secretly worried about the cost. Just then, her husband arrived. The saleslady smiled and encouraged him to buy it for her.
Such fancy fabric. How often would a farmer even wear it? He sighed.
This is hardly what I'd call fancy fabric.
Sensing her husband's hesitation instantly, Tao Chun hurriedly took off the dress.
I wonder how much this dress even costs. It's not expensive. Only 1450 yuan. Oh dear, I only have a little over 5 yuan left.
Hey, let's go. I have things to tell you.
Though her heart was heavy with longing, she could only follow her husband out. No sooner had they stepped out than her husband took back the little change that remained. Home, their son was inseparable from his new toy gun. Their daughter got a desired ballpoint pen and Mushing took his 2 packs of cigarettes. Everyone in the family got something they liked except for Tao Chun, who had nothing. She devoted herself to the family, toiling without a word of complaint. Yet in return, she couldn't even get a kind word from her husband. During dinner, her sister Xingji rushed over in high spirits, urging Tao Kun to put on her new clothes for a look. Tao Chun had to lie and say she hadn't bought it, claiming the clothes were too fancy for her to feel comfortable in.
You're already 30 years old. At 30, a woman is just an old hag.
As if you're the only beauty around, smoking such fancy cigarettes even wrapped in foil. You're so unfair. My sister has been married to you all these years. How many new clothes have you ever bought her? How many bars of scented soap? You wouldn't even think to buy her a single tin of face cream, would you?
Confronted with Xingji's accusations, Mushing felt no shame at all. Instead, he argued your sister never said she wanted any. Who could have imagined that Tao Chun, so submissive now, once had dreams of her own. As a child, she excelled in school and dreamed of becoming a teacher. But after marriage, like countless other traditional women, she abandoned all her aspirations. Good food and nice clothes were never meant for her. Living a life of total submission to her husband, she never once complained about her marriage. She never complained about life, always repeating that one phrase,
I'll follow your lead.
Now her greatest wish was simply to see the train on the other side of the mountain. One day, Xingji came to see her, inviting her to go to the market in town to take photos and see the newly running train. In those times, a train was a novelty that people in the mountains had never even heard of. Listening to Xingji's vivid descriptions, Tao Chun felt moved. Living in the mountains year-round, how could she not want to go out and see the world? But fearing her husband's disapproval, she could only decline politely.
Wow, maybe some other time.
Always some other time. Trains have been running to Long Qingjai for a year now. It's only a few dozen miles away, yet you've never been there. What a wasted life.
I don't even have a decent piece of clothing.
To Xingji, her sister's life has revolved entirely around the house since she married, leaving her with no space or freedom of her own. What angered her even more was that her brother-in-law had never bought her sister a single decent outfit. Tao Kun brought her husband's meal. She cautiously tested the waters.
Xingji said she'd take me to the market in Long Qingjai one of these days. The trains have been running for a year now. I still haven't been there.
That Xingji has too many ideas. He wants to know about every novelty in the world.
Her husband's refusal filled her with disappointment, yet she still gave the same reply.
Whatever you say.
That night, Tao Chun was busy cooking while coaxing her child to sleep. When her husband returned, she dutifully brought him water to wash his feet. As the days passed, Tao Chun grew accustomed to burying her feelings deep inside. Since marrying into this family, her husband has had the final say in everything. He never cared for his wife's opinion, even for something as small as signing her daughter's homework. Tao Chun would wait for her husband to return late at night while her husband slept soundly. Tao Chun was still toiling away at endless chores. Suddenly, a sharp pain shot through her abdomen, forcing her to stop her work. Early the next morning, Xingji came again to ask Tao Chun to go to the market. Since her husband didn't agree, Tao Chun made excuses about unfinished housework, but Xingji saw right through her.
Oh, I see. The boss of your house didn't give his approval.
You, cheeky girl, you're just too sharp.
You don't even dare to make a decision about such a small thing.
Xingji advised her to have her own mind and not listen to her husband on everything, but Tao Chun defended him. Your brother Mu Sheng is a decent man. He works so hard for this family, braving the wind and rain all by himself. As for me,
Truly respect him.
You respect him, but why doesn't he respect you?
Oh, you, you'll understand once you have a family of your own.
such a kind woman was never favored by fate after all. That night, Tao Chun's stomach began to ache again. Looking at her sleeping husband, she couldn't bear to wake him, so she gritted her teeth and endured it until dawn. She had only just dozed off when her husband woke her, urging her to go to the purchasing station early to sell the pigs. Tao Chun explained that her stomach had been hurting all night. Her husband didn't care, saying he had already made an appointment. Unable to refuse, Tao Chun could only force herself to get up to save money for cigarettes. Her husband just handed her 2 packs of rendan, saying the pain would go away once she took them. Before leaving, Tao Chun asked Xingji to watch the kids. Xingji repeatedly insisted that after selling the pigs, he must buy a new dress for his wife. But this trip led to the scene shown at the beginning. Life went on as usual, while Tao Chun was cutting pigweed on the mountain. As she prepared to head home, her stomach flared with sharp pain again, worse than ever before, leaving her in a cold sweat and unable to stand. Quickly told her son to call his father, and her daughter ran to the river to find him.
Mom's stomach hurts.
It's nothing serious, it's just her chronic ailment. She'll be fine in a moment.
Mom is sweating from the pain.
Come here. Go to town and buy her 2 packs of rendan.
But this man didn't take his wife's pain to heart at all. If at this moment he had shown a bit more concern, Tao Chun's fate might have been different. That evening, the husband came home to find Tao Chun gone, and his son crying from hunger. Furious, he barked at his son to get out of his way. Xingji quickly pulled her brother aside and told him a story to soothe him. It wasn't until late at night that Tao Chun, dragging her exhausted body, finally returned home. But as she tried to sit and rest, her husband scolded her harshly.
The pots are cold, and the stove is dead. The kid is crying for food again. Does this even look like a home anymore?
Husband, why don't you start the fire first?
Even if I were a cow, I'd still need a sip of water.
Early the next morning, the son ran to Xingji's house, saying his mother was bedridden and gravely ill. Xingji hurried over and was heartbroken to see Tao Chun agonizing in pain. The daughter then brought over 2 packs of rendan for her mother to take.
You fool.
My father told me to buy these.
Go tell your father. If she's not taken to a hospital now, your mother won't make it.
Tao Chun was finally taken to the hospital. The doctor called Mu Sheng into his office. The doctor's words came like a bolt from the blue.
We asked to see you mainly to discuss your wife's condition. Only you can know this. The test results show that your wife has liver cancer. We are preparing to perform a liver lobectomy on her. Treatment for her illness has been delayed for too long. Why didn't you bring her in for an examination earlier? It's too late.
Only then did Mu Sheng realize with a shock that her condition had worsened to this point entirely because of his own negligence. Sitting outside the operating room, he shed tears of deep remorse.
She's at death's door, and only now do you show some heart. It's my sister's misfortune to have ended up with a heartless man like you. You never even treated her like a human.
While heading home to gather money, Mu Sheng sat alone on the boat, lost in thought, recalling everything Tao Chun did for the family. Over the years, he was consumed by guilt. But what's the use of regret now? Why do people only wake up to the truth once they've lost everything? Back home, Mu Sheng saw his daughter tending the stove just like her mother, while soothing her little brother. Seeing him return, she brought him water to wash his feet, just as her mother always did. Seeing how sensible she was, Sheng was overcome with shame and pulled her into his arms. With her mother gone, the little girl had shouldered the entire burden of the household, caring for her brother, cooking the meals and feeding the livestock. When Xingji asked why she wasn't in school, the girl lowered her head and said, "If I go to school, there'll be no one left to look after the house."
Pigs, pigs, pigs. All you think about is those pigs. You're turning into a beast of burden yourself.
In those days, terminal cancer was a death sentence. Combined with their poverty, Tao Chun was simply sent home to die. Sitting on the bus, Tao Chun gazed at the city passing by the window. She couldn't help but sigh. "I suppose I'm one of the lucky ones."
Even though I'm so terribly ill, at least I got to see the world. Otherwise, when would I ever have had the chance to see the county town? I even got to ride in a motor vehicle.
After a lifetime of hardship, it took a fatal illness for her to ride a bus for the first time. Seeing his mother return, her son rushed into her arms and sobbed.
While you were gone, I kept having dreams.
What did you dream about?
I dreamed I fell into the sea. But you didn't come to save me. I turned into a bird and flew around looking for you.
Mommy will never leave her little one again.
The scene brought tears to Xingji's eyes. She knew in her heart that her sister would soon be leaving them. Their daughter came home from school with a perfect test paper and asked for a signature this time. Mu Sheng asked Tao Kun to sign it.
No, mother of our child, would you be the one to sign from now on?
Me? Signed? How could I possibly sign it?
It's the same whether you sign it or I do.
At the insistence of her husband and daughter, Tao Chun signed the paper for the first time. Looking at his frail wife, Mu Sheng made up his mind to make up for all his past neglect during her final days. Early the next morning, he rushed to the town's department store to buy the dress Tao Chun liked, but the last one had already been sold. Disappointed, he went to the butcher to buy pork belly, his wife's favorite, and when he got home, he saw Tao Chun trying on that very dress. Turned out that Xingji had bought it for her sister.
Think, it's a rare kindness for you to think of buying this for your sister.
If I don't buy it, who will? My sister has had no one to care for her all her life.
Father of my child, do you think I can pull this off?
You certainly can. You should have worn it long ago. Xingji, let me give you the money for it.
Take your money to buy more rent.
Stunned by Xingji's biting words, he could only leave in shame. The next day, Tao Chun brought lunch to Mu Sheng as usual, but Mu Sheng stopped her, saying someone else could bring it from now on. If only he had known better back then. If he had cared for her illness sooner, things wouldn't have ended like this. That evening, when Tao Chun went to bring his foot water, Mu Sheng snatched it away. He told his wife to rest and that he would do it himself. Late at night, Tao Chun was awakened by the sound of the millstone. Her husband's unusual behavior lately made her realize something was wrong. She grabbed Mu Sheng and asked him what kind of illness she really had.
Tell me the truth. Is it my illness?
Your illness has been cured. The doctor said so. Completely recovered.
Mu Sheng's evasive eyes made her realize instantly that her husband was hiding something. Then she went to ask Xingji, but she too couldn't bear to tell the truth, only lying that she was better. As long as it doesn't recur, you'll be fine.
Even if it flares up, it won't matter. It's just a woman's ailment. I'm blessed with a good husband, and I have both a son and a daughter. I am content.
One day when Mu Sheng came home, he found his daughter crying under a tree. He went over and learned that someone had told the child her mother only had half a year to live. Mu Sheng didn't answer directly, but heartbrokenly wiped away his daughter's tears. He repeatedly told her not to cry in front of her mother. You're a big girl now. Take care of your brother. Don't upset your mother. Meanwhile, Tao Chun was cooking while holding her son when her son suddenly asked about her illness.
Mom, does your tummy still hurt?
No, it doesn't hurt anymore.
Then you won't leave again, will you?
I'm staying. Mom might be going on a long journey soon.
Where to?
To Grandma's house.
Did you say Grandma was dead?
If Mom goes far away, will you miss me?
I will. If I miss you, will you come back?
In a few days, I'll go take a photo. When you miss me, just look at my photo.
Tao Kun knew in her heart that her time was running out. She began sewing clothes for her children through the night, yearning to finish every piece they would need from childhood to adulthood. The next room, her daughter overheard her parents' conversation and sobbed silently on her bed. Knowing her mother was about to leave, she went into her mother's room and whispered, "Mom, teach me how to do these chores. I'm 9 now." Seeing her daughter so mature for her age, Tao Kun could no longer hold back. She held her daughter and wept uncontrollably, giving her instructions over and over. "Obey your father and study hard. Only through education can you see the world outside these mountains." Watching his wife approach the end of her life, Mushang stayed awake all night. He asked Tao Kun if she had any unfulfilled wishes. Tao Kun shook her head. She had only one small wish: to see the trains in town and take a photo as a memento for the children. Early the next morning, Mu Sheng pushed Tao Chun in a wheelbarrow along the country path, heading toward town to fulfill this belated compensation. The story concludes amidst the rumbling whistle of a train, leaving only endless sighs and profound reflection. Through Tao Chun's tragedy, this film stabs at the spiritual shackles of traditional patriarchal ethics on women. Repeated phrase, "I'll follow you," and the 4 classic scenes of bringing foot washing water portray Tao Kun's docility and endurance while exposing the suppression of individual will by feudal patriarchy. Mu Sheng's transformation from indifference to remorse symbolizes the awakening of humanity and conscience in traditional men during changing times.